What's going on, everybody? It's Dan here, back with another Moonshine talking. Hope everyone's having a good one. I'm doing well. Again, can't complain. All's been pretty good. Been a pretty good weekend. Just doing a bunch of weird, random stuff today. Some work related, some not. Got in a quick beach muscle workout today, and then I had to go do some physical therapy stuff, and yeah, that was pretty much my day. Excuse me as I clear my throat. Here, let me take a swig here. Yeah, I figured to hop on here before the end of the weekend. I want to do one more album review. I'll get to that in a second, but actually, this won't constitute an album review. But while working out today, while hopping on the elliptical, doing some stuff with my headphones on, I was on YouTube. That's usually what I go to, that or Pandora when I'm working out, and I was scrolling through just to see something to listen to. And, listen to some current event stuff, and then kind of got bored of that. And I saw that the new Whitechapel album came out, and I know it's the whatever hyphen core type of stuff that everybody despises, but I'm somebody who I've interacted with online. They kind of have fairly good taste in music, like Big Clutch fan and a couple other bands that I'm into. Suggested Whitechapel, and I already knew that it was either like the deathcore or the metalcore and that sort of thing. So I really wasn't high on the idea of that I was going to like them. But nonetheless, I checked out a few songs that he suggested, and were all right. I mean, they weren't awful. They weren't necessarily my thing, but I can see where people would like it. So I saw that came out today, and I said, you know what? I'm on the elliptical. I'm not doing anything but doing cardio, and then by the time I get back here to do my workout, I'll probably be halfway through the album anyway. Halfway through the album. So what the hell? Let me just listen to it and see what it sounds like. It's a brand new album, and well, just be open minded and just give it a shot. So my thoughts on the new Whitechapel. It's called Hymns and Dissonance. It came out on, I think Metal Blade put it out. It came out today. Um, for me, my taste, the stuff that I'm into, I don't, as far as my hot take on metalcore and deathcore and all that sort of stuff, I don't listen to it. Uh, I don't have a visceral hatred towards the bands or like the fans and all that sort of stuff. I know it's very popular. I see a lot of kids because I work down the street from a nightclub. I see a lot of kids coming into my store, and they're always wearing stuff like that after the shows are over. Like the friggin' what's Enterprise Earth is one of the bands that I see people they play here occasionally, and they're pretty popular. Some of the people that I run into, and stuff like that. But I don't have a visceral hatred of this stuff. I just don't listen to it. It's not gonna ruin my day if somebody likes it. So I actually almost saw them live once. I was gonna go see Cannibal Corpse, and they were the feature act on the bill. But I thought that me and my buddy, who had never been to a show before, he wanted to go to a show. Cannibal Corpse was playing that night. I figured, well, we'll just get tickets at the gate. Couldn't get tickets at the gate, so I should have got them before we left. So we drove all the way from point A to B without getting tickets, and then they turned us away at the gate. So I didn't see them, and I also didn't see Cannibal, which kind of sucked. But nonetheless, gave this a whirl, and it's not my thing. It wasn't as bad as I expected. It wasn't as bad as I was anticipating, but it also wasn't something that I'm gonna go run out and buy. It was a lot less genty with the guitar structures and a lot less like homeboy hip hop rap kind of vocal influenced as I was expecting. There was a couple spots here and there with that, so it wasn't completely devoid of that, but by and large, it was decent. I mean, it wasn't. It would sit comfortably as far as releases I've heard this year. It sits comfortably in the middle, at the lower end of the middle of the stuff that I've heard this year. it was had a lot more blasphemy going on than I would have expected. But as far as songs where if anyone were to take my opinion and run with it, I would say probably I think the one song, the Hymns and Dissonance, that's the title track. That was pretty decent. The opener, Prisoner 666, was not too bad. And I think Hate Death Cult, that was track six, I want to say. But that was pretty good. But overall, it was just to me, it was background noise. It was just background music while I was working out, and not much more than that. And then I went and I listened to a little bit of this band that just got they released an album on Osmos, excuse me, called Ad Hominem, and that was pretty decent too. So I'll probably pick that up at some point. But anyhow, so that would constitute a quick review of Whitechapel's brand new album. I know people liked it. I know other people probably have higher praise for it than I do, but that's my opinion. But it's also I'm not like a learned expert or somebody who really follows deathcore, metalcore that much. So yeah, that's my opinion. I heard the new Kill Switch too, and I didn't care for that either. And I like a couple Kill Switch Engage albums, but I just it was what it was. I played it for a dude who works with me that loves metalcore, so we played it for him. But anyhow, so the reason I'm here today is to talk about the an album that just came out. It was released today on Witches Brew Records, which is a phenomenal small label that I've just recently discovered. Found the band Death Cult. If anybody is familiar, I did a review on them. They put an album out late last year, which is very good. Very different, a bit more eccentric than some of the stuff that I would normally listen to. But it was good. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was kind of like a weird mix, but if you want, go check out my review from when I did that. But yeah, Witches Brew, they put this out, and they also put out, just before I get into it, I got this other album from Hell's Headbangers. I was going through there to see if they had any of the label stuff on their site, and sure enough, they did. And as it turned out, it was a band that I was trying to get some stuff from when I was looking for the Hyrax stuff, but it's Hyrax had their stuff on Dementia, which is a Czech Republic label, but this is a Czech Republic thrash band called Faust, and this is called Tinnitus Inquisition, and this is very good stuff. I'm not going to go into it too much, but it came out in 2022 on Witches Brew, and it's a good, like, very solid thrash album. But I'll talk about that another time. So anyhow, the album that I'm here to talk about today, and I got to cover the boobies, is this band Seidhr and their album Dracanthropy. Hopefully you can see that. Actually, I'll post I had something fun that I did to show the album cover. But they're a three-piece black and thrash band from the Michigan area, also Kansas City is what I gathered. They've been around since they put an EP out. This has been a project. The band itself it's a three piece. The main guy behind it is a guy who calls himself Satanic Fuckbringer, and then he recruited. He's the guitar player and vocalist, and then they got Sadistic Perverter, who I believe he does bass and maybe some guitar. I think he also does he does some string stuff on here, like they use some violins and viola and stuff like that. And then he recruited a drummer called Infernal Cunhammer. These are just fantastic names. I don't have any images of them. There's nothing that shows them in anything other than silhouette. I did see stuff on Metal Archives, but it's got them with their shoot names. So, for the sake of kayfabe, I'm not going to do all that to them. You can find it very easily, but the band itself became a proper band in 2023 when they put out an EP called Wrath of the Hell Bitch, which I'm imagining the demon woman on the cover is probably the Hell Bitch. And see, I haven't heard that, but actually, when you get this, just so you know, if you are interested in this, you listen to some of the samples that I put here, and you hear this and you like it, you want to go pick it up. I got it from Bandcamp. I'm sure you can get it through Witches Brew, probably at some point, some of the other larger distros. But you also get a it comes with the Wrath of the Hell Bitch EP. I haven't listened to it yet, but Yeah, this is good stuff. It's 8 tracks, about a half hour long. Again, three-piece black and thrash from the Michigan area. Very good stuff. If you're it's got lots of screeching, searing leads, lots of blasting through the boundaries of hell, blasting their way through the boundaries of hell, drum beats and stuff like that. The the vocals at times are very Araya-esque. It was definitely a band that is very heavily influenced by Slayer, very early Slayer. Also, I would say probably Sodom. And as far as like a more modern band that they sound like, I would say that's similar. It'd probably be Dissonance. If you're familiar with them, System Shock came out last year, which is pretty good, but very similar thrashy style, like very new wave of old school thrash metal kind of style. And it's good stuff. It's fun. Starts off with Ignatus Sanctus Malum. Yes, Ignatus Sanctus Malum. I spit that out correctly. I just My voice was going for a quick second. Which starts out with a very cool intro to lead into the song. It's almost very acid witchy. Stuff that very almost kind of like that psychedelic horror vibe that band has going on. You get a similar thing with the intro on this one, and that's a really good one. They initially before with the pre-order when you got it on Bandcamp, you got a couple songs, Awake the Tormentor and Banish to Cur. Banish to Cur is a really cool song. Black Speed Death Cult. That's a fantastic track.
Violence of my road, send
very solid black and thrash album. You know, just little elements of, if you're a fan of, like I said, early Slayer, Sodom, probably a little bit of Celtic Frost. You get some definite old school riffage going on there. I'd even say probably a little bit of like no, I wouldn't say Anthrax because I'm getting my wires crossed a little bit. That was more the Faust album that kind of has a lot of like Anthrax, but really ramped up, almost like a sped up version of Anthrax, if that makes any sense. But yeah, this is a good one. I would definitely check it out. But yeah, man, one more time for the third time's the charm. If you're a fan of old school Slayer, Sodom, as far as more modern bands, Desolate, maybe a little bit of Celtic Frost or Possessed, this will be right up your alley. You'll enjoy it quite a bit. They're a smaller band, could probably use the support and a little bit of boost in their profile. So definitely go check them out. And if you like it, go pick up their album. You can get it on Bandcamp. You can get it through Witches Brew, the record label. Again, they're a small label that I just discovered, and I'm finding out a lot of good stuff from the label. Probably dig a little bit deeper into some of the other stuff they have, and yeah, it's good stuff. I enjoy discovering stuff like this. You know, stuff that's a little off the beaten path or not really doesn't get a lot of press. Like, you know, this week again, you got big bands like Whitechapel and Destruction putting stuff out, and you know, this was the thing I wanted to listen to. You know, the Scour one I did, that was from, you know, that came out a couple weeks ago. But again, another thing that's kind of like a bigger band because of the names in it. But yeah, man, this is killer. I would check it out. And I didn't show it, excuse me, but they gave me a sticker to go along with it, which is cool. You know, I always enjoy that stuff. Nobody has to do stuff for me, but it's cool that somebody takes the time out of their day to do something like that. So yeah, man, this definitely gets recommended. Two horns way up in the sky for this one. You'll be fist banging and head banging and rocking and ravaging as much as your blackened hearts will desire. So yeah, go check it out. Once again, Seidhr is the name of the band. The album is Dracanthropy on Witches Brew Records. So yeah, that's my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you all get to check out some more of the other stuff I did recently. I'll probably be doing a collection update pretty soon. I have an idea in mind, but I'm trying to formulate it because it's going to be a little bit of a different way of doing a collection update. It should be fun. It's going to be fun for me. I don't know for anybody else, but it's going to be a fun way of doing it and just, you know, just showing the stuff that I purchased recently and in the past few months and probably even further back, but also adding a little twist instead of it just being, oh, look at the stuff I got. Hey, isn't it cool? Aren't I cool? Ugh. So, yeah, man. So be on the lookout for that. And what else on the at the end here? Some mindless fodder for you. I saw J Dog had a live stream today when I got home. I popped on my TV. I was going to watch something else on YouTube, and sure shit, there's J Dog doing a live stream, which he got a pretty solid audience. I mean, I don't know how he didn't seem real happy because he wasn't getting a lot of super chats through it, but I think a few people did donate. But yeah, that was probably, I would say, as far as live streams go, most of the stuff I see, it's getting like 13, 20, maybe 50 sort of people. He had at one point, he was close to like 300. So that's pretty good. But, you know, if enough people donate to him, then I'm sure that'll make the dog happy. But yeah, it was interesting. It was just fun. It was funny to see that. And then I see some of the same heads that are in the chat rooms in the different spots, like Paul Kreutz and uh, Necron was there, and Joe Frazanelli was another guy who I see his name popping up a lot, Chaos Goat, and you know, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, then speaking of live streams, and speaking of Paul, actually, Paul, Drucifer, and Shredbeard are doing one Saturday, tomorrow night, which is the 8th. And they're doing it 7 p.m. Central Time, which is, I think, Texas time, which I believe that makes it 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and probably 4 o'clock on the West Coast for the West Coast. Don't ask me international times. I'm off the top. I don't know that off the top of my head. Um, but yeah, and then other than that, I guess I'll add a quick, we're under 20 minutes here, so I'll do a quick little thing here. If you don't like wrestling, tune out right now because you're not going to want to hear anymore. So if you're done with the video, if you've been done with the video anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. But if you've been watching to this point and you don't want to hear wrestling stuff, have a good one. Take it easy. I'll see you on the next one later. Um, but apparently, I did a video on John Cena and the big heel turn that he did at Elimination Chamber recently. This was probably the biggest news in wrestling in a long, long time. A lot of people consider it the closest thing, or maybe even better, than the heel turn that Hogan did at Bash of the Beach back in 98, I want to say, 97, 98, when the whole NWO started taking over. And but they had this goof of a rapper out there who was, I don't know what his purpose was. And I didn't see it. I heard it, but I didn't see it happen at the time. And he, Cody Rhodes, who is the champion of the company right now, he's the title holder. He was on the ground. They were doing a bit where Cena had his legs and Travis Scott was supposed to hold his arms, while The Rock, who is like the on-screen head of the company, but he's also legit major shareholder in the company. He's gonna whip Rhodes because he's doing this whole evil boss thing and trying to get this guy to sell his soul to him and all that sort of stuff. But this guy Travis Scott did not know what he was doing. And then at one point, you hear what sounded like a smack, like he smacked him in the back of the head and the neck. And it turned out, I guess he smacked him, but it really looked like a punch. So apparently he perforated his eardrum, which is a nasty injury to get. And it's just it's astonishing to me. And I really hope that if somebody did not go out there, and I hope in my world, he would have got his ass beat in the back once he got to the back, because that's the top guy of the company. That's, for better or worse, that's your top guy. You got to protect your top guy. And to have some goof who's a celebrity, has no idea what he's doing, he's just out there trying to get his shit in and just being a goof and being a mark and not having any clue what he's doing out there. And apparently he's supposed to be getting in the ring at some point, but to have that happen and then have him injure somebody and potentially risk the biggest money match of the year at WrestleMania is like, I mean, what are you doing? What are you guys thinking? So we'll see what happens there. But it was interesting, just a little tidbit to mention to you. So anyhow, not that it's a hard and fast rule, but we're at 20 minutes, so I figured you've heard enough of me babbling. So everybody, as always, this is Dan from Moonshine talking. Stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal. Always tuck your chin upon impact. Don't forget to breathe. Everyone have a good one. I'll catch you on the next video, and take it easy. Later.